Hello everyone. Looks like I'm live here. Welcome to the final last quarter moon week of 2022. This is going to be an amazing week in the way that we have energetic opportunity to do deep clearing, healing, letting go, releasing in preparation for creating space for bringing in the new. In fact, this last quarter moon that we had early this morning, I think around 2 a.m. Arizona time, is very connected. Of course, it was in Virgo, so it's very connected to healing energy, clearing, restoring order, organization to our lives. And the reason I say that is because Virgo is the archetype of the healer. Now, the moon has since transitioned into Libra, which is where it's at right now. But when we had the exact last quarter moon was still in Virgo, and so that's the energy that's carrying us through this last phase of this current lunar cycle. And so I'm going to talk just a little bit about, what the energies are this week. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about the astrology. But we're just coming off of, let's see, the sun in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces happened earlier this week. So we're still in the energy of that. In and of itself, that aspect is amplifying our sense of connection to our soul self, to our spirit, to the cosmos. And we have some other things going on this week that are supporting that even further. But first, let's dig into this Virgo energy around this last quarter moon. Let's remember that each last quarter phase of each lunar cycle, which is the last week of each lunar cycle, is in general always a time of purging, clearing, releasing, and letting go. So take a moment to feel into yourself and recognize where you've already been feeling compelled to do that, or how you're preparing to do that. Pay attention to, what do I need to clear? What do I need to release? And this can be all the way around, holistically, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I've been talking about this for the past few weeks because we've been leading up to this point. So we're down to, earlier in the month, I talked about how this month is the best time of the year to do deep healing work in preparation for inviting in new energies as we're coming into the new year. And here we are down to the last week. And I'm counting that like up until the Winter Solstice day, because after the Winter Solstice day, we start having increasing time of sunlight in our days. And so we're already coming into sort of an early head start on our New Year's resolutions energy, New Year's energies. So this weekend, I wanted to chime in because it is the day of the last quarter moon and we're coming into the weekend. So many of us may have a little bit more time and spaciousness to focus on some healing work. I recommend that we do look at things on all levels in the way of, we're not only purging, clearing whatever one needs to purge and clear from within ourselves energetically, but also doing some clearing, some organization of your physical home environment so that you have a nice space set for setting new intentions into motion as we're coming into the new moon next week. So, it feels like this is a really good weekend or next few days to cozy in, nest, do whatever feels nourishing and nurturing to you. In the way of healing work, hold on, let me take a sip of my tea here. I like having my tea time with all of you. So, in the way of healing work, I'm a huge fan of vibrational therapies that are connected to deep breath work, sound healing, movement practices such as yoga. These dance, creative movement, these are my particular go-to or my favorite go-to practices for healing. So maybe find a way to explore these things within, your own home, spontaneously, free-spiritedly throughout the weekend, or perhaps you can find some type of event to attend in your community that might be connected to maybe a sound healing experience, sound bath, breath work, yoga, whatever. This is a really good weekend to give yourself the gift of self-healing. Again, our theme this week, purging, cleansing, clearing the old, making room for the new, because we are coming into the winter solstice and the new moon next week, which I'm going to talk more about in a little bit. So I want to talk a little bit more about what's going on astrologically that's going to support us through this week. So I talked about the last quarter moon. Tomorrow we have Mercury in Capricorn trining Uranus in Taurus. This is an energy that awakens creative inspiration. It invites creativity. It invites innovation, inventive ideas. It enables breakthroughs of awareness that support plan making and things of that nature. So even though we have this energy of sort of winding down, purging, cleansing, clearing, there are some themes overlapping that at the same time, we're getting little glimpses of insights and inspirations that ultimately are going to be connected to what we feel excited about the opportunity to activate, empower, express, create, and manifest as we're coming into 2023. Throughout the next few days, from now through December 19th, we have both Venus and Mercury making square aspects to Chiron. This, as you all might already be feeling, brings an opportunity to have deeper awareness and ultimately healing around relationship-oriented or themed wounds. It's possible that during these next few days, we may have experiences that trigger old wounds around relationships. So we want to remember, if that happens, that they're happening so they can be healed and integrated. Awareness, understanding, and healing around wounds that are connected to relationship themes is specifically a thing that's coming up for us over the next few days. And so, of course, this is all aligned with this deep purging, cleansing, clearing, letting go, healing, releasing theme that we have going on. So I'm going to say this, and this is connected to another amazing opportunity that we have to access energetically in the next few days. So on the 19th, the sun is going to be conjunct or in alignment with the Galactic Center, which resides at 27 degrees Sagittarius. Now, this is a transit that happens every year when the sun passes this point. But the Galactic Center is our portal, so to speak, to other energies from other galaxies. So in astrology, the Galactic Center relates to being like a portal of consciousness that enables us to access higher awareness. And when we combine this higher awareness theme that's coming, not only with that square that we've got going on this week with the Sun in Sag to Neptune and Pisces, but this alignment with the Galactic Center, it feels like we're able to have deeper awarenesses, not only around where we have opportunity for healing, but also where we have opportunity for growth. The symbol, according to the Sabian symbols, which are archetypal energies that are associated with every degree point in the wheel used of the houses in astrology, the symbol that's connected to 27 degrees of Sagittarius is a sculptor at work, bringing form to the sculptor's vision. So this translates to us, right? The awarenesses that we can gain at this time while the sun is conjunct the Galactic Center ultimately are going to enable us to have more awareness around what is our vision that we choose to bring into form. Otherwise, what are we wanting to create, express, manifest? And how can we be on the journey of that? My awareness around this, it's like starting with us. The vision that we want to bring into form can also be seen as whatever our new dream is for ourselves, for our life, but it starts with us, right? So this awareness has been coming into my mind this week that's around becoming aware of the you that you want to be. What is the you that you want to be? One way that we can recognize this is by recognizing qualities, perhaps, that you admire in another person. This could be a person that you know in your life. It can actually even be a fictional character from a movie or whatever. But noticing what types of qualities and characteristics that you witness in the world around you and other people that you resonate with, that you value, is one way that you can understand qualities and characteristics of yourself that you do have within you, but that perhaps are not really being active right now. Perhaps they're dormant, so to speak. And so taking some time to really cultivate that awareness or vision of who it is that you really want to be in regard to who you see yourself in your highest expression, your best self. And I've been doing this too. Since this has come into my awareness, I've been doing this too. And then what I'm doing is every action that I take, every decision I make, I'm being very mindful of doing that in relation to how would the person that I want to be, the parts of me that I want to empower and energize and activate, how would me being in my best self respond to the situation? How would me being in my best self choose in this moment? And when we can have that conscientiousness, that awareness as we're moving through life, this ultimately gives us like a mindfulness practice that we can do that ultimately will result in us becoming a complete embodiment of those qualities that we imagine as being connected to our best selves. So this is one way, one modality, one tool that we can use to empower ourselves in the here and now, which in and of itself can bring a tremendous amount of healing when we're choosing to rise into our best self rather than unconsciously embodying the energy of a lower quality that might be connected to a wound, a fear, an uncertainty, things like that. So as it relates to evolutionary astrology, each season, and I mean like zodiac season, right? So we're finishing up, for example, Sagittarius season. Now we're about to enter into Capricorn season. Each season offers masteries, qualities in which we naturally gravitate anyway, whether we're aware of them or not, right? But knowing about it enables us to work through it more consciously. For example, as we're coming into this last week of Sagittarius season, we can ask ourselves, have contemplation around what we have accomplished, so to speak, regarding the masteries of Sagittarius season, which are connected to themes that have to do with experiencing an increased awareness through how it is that we interact with the world around us. Sagittarius energy compels us outward to engage and interact with the world. It's not so much a time of going within or focusing on interpersonal relationships. It's more of a time of sociability, reaching out, making connections, interacting, engaging with people, which is a way that we learn and grow and develop. So ask yourself how you've done that in this past month, even maybe without being aware of this mastery that's connected to Sagittarius season. Chances are, if you think back on the past month, there's been some type of way that you've expanded beyond a comfort zone. There's been some type of way that you've embodied a new courage that's enabled you to engage in the world a little bit more differently than you usually do. And so take a moment to take that in and acknowledge how you've experienced some growth through doing those things, which is you tapping into the mastery teachings of this season and benefiting from them. So now we're getting ready to move into Capricorn season, which happens on the same day as the winter solstice, and I am going to be chiming in and doing a video on that exact day. And I think I'm going to plan the date so you guys will know ahead of time. I'll put it up here on my channel when I know that. I'll figure it out this weekend and when I can do that, what time. Anyway, Capricorn season, the mastery teachings, mastery of awareness, mastery of growth is connected to like a renewed commitment to self-responsibility. It's a renewed enthusiasm in the direction of our ambitiousness. And Capricorn experiences satisfaction through accomplishment. Capricorn season starts on December 21st, next Wednesday. So this is a really good week to have some self-reflection around how has it been that I have flowed through Sagittarius season? How have the masteries of Sagittarius season benefited me? How have I embodied that energy? And now we can move into Capricorn season with more of an awareness. And by the way, as we're moving through these weekly and monthly videos throughout 2023, I'm going to be sharing teachings about the masteries of each zodiac season. So here we are, starting with Capricorn season, which brings us into the new year, right? So knowing this enables you to work with it again more directly, more consciously. And you might be feeling already like you're tapping into that energy a little bit. Ask yourself, where have I been feeling a renewed commitment to my self-responsibility? Where have I experienced a renewed energy of ambition? In what areas of my life? Things that I'm striving to achieve or accomplish in the month of January or late December. And I invite you to move through those energies again more deliberately and seeing what the personal growth results of practicing it conscientiously brings you. Now, on the 19th or 20th, we have Jupiter moving into the sign of Aries, which is going to be bringing us into the new year, which is an energy of ambitiousness. So we've got this theme that's starting to come in here as we're coming towards the winter solstice, the last week of December, coming into the first week of January. The energy shifts dramatically from here I am purging, clearing, cleansing, healing, to here I am being in my exuberance. Here I am embodying ambitiousness. Here I am feeling excited about recommitting to my spiritual self-reliance and responsibility. So we're going to see a significant shift of energy as we're transitioning through the next week or two. And so I invite you to just have this on your radar and be aware of it, right? And again, working with it most deliberately. We have the new moon happening on the 23rd, which I'm going to be chiming in here on the 21st on the winter solstice. And so we'll talk about the new moon energies then. But, you know, this is, again, the best week to out with the old, in with the new. In fact, I'm going to share this with you here. For those of you who want some type of personal ceremony, ritual that you can do on the winter solstice, I'm going to do something like this live. And so for those of you who think you might want to chime in with me, this is what you can do to prepare. And this is what I'm going to be doing on the solstice as well. Write down on a piece of paper everything that you want to purge, clear, release from your life. And then what I do is I burn that. So I'm taking all of the stuff that I want to release, which can be seen as maybe a metaphoric darkness or lower vibration in your life, heavier things that you want to clear. And you're returning it to light by starting it on fire. You're also transmuting it. You're returning it to spirit as like a supercharged prayer. And then you also want to be aware of, what do I specifically want to embody, activate, empower within myself? Now, you could also write those things down as well. What I'm going to do is a little candle ceremony with that, using a little teeny chime candle. You can get small little chime candles at pretty much any metaphysical gift shop that are used for personal rituals. Get one of those if you can, especially if you think that you want to do the live ceremony with me on the solstice day. I would recommend a red candle, a white candle or red candle or an orange candle. The red and the orange, or even gold or yellow, being like fire colors, colors that are associated with energy activation, would be good colors to use. So just as a heads up on that, and I'm going to go ahead here and pull a few cards. I'm using my Osho Zen Tarot today. I'm going to pull 3 cards from here and get a unified message from those 3 cards around anything else that we might need to know collectively regarding this energy that we're in this week. And by the way, another thing that I wanted to say about the fact, especially with Jupiter in Aries on the 20th, because Jupiter is going to be in Aries for quite some time, for several months. Look to see where the Aries sector of your chart is. My rising sign is Aries, and so my Aries sector of my chart is in my first house. So Jupiter in Aries in my chart is going to influence things having to do with my physical body, my appearance, the way I express myself in the world, and things like that. Look to see what the Aries sector of your chart is, and that will give you some insight as to how to best work with that Jupiter energy. Jupiter expands everything it touches. It's about growth. It's about good fortune. It initiates, again, that ambitiousness. It initiates boldness, courageousness. And I ran across this really cool little phrase or saying about Jupiter once that I'm going to share with you here. Jupiter reminds us that good fortune favors the bold. Jupiter reminds us that good fortune favors the bold. So this can be sort of another way of saying that, Spirit helps people that help themselves, right? When we embody courageousness and boldness to move forward in the direction of what our soulful intentions, ambitions, goals, and dreams are, we are blessed with favorable energies. We're supported in that. This is a really good time for Jupiter to be in Aries, that we're coming into the new year. It's a really good way to get the new year intentions off to a good start so that they have an opportunity to get an actual momentum going. Okay, so let me pick these cards here and see what else wants to come up. Picking them now. Here's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. They're all showing up reversed. I'm going to turn them right side up so that you can see them. We have inner voice. Just holding it up here so you can see. Transformation. I love this deck. It's so beautiful. And suppression. So all of these cards came up reversed. I'm going to talk about them in general. The archetype of transformation is pretty self-explanatory, right? A process of alchemy, a process of taking something lesser and turning it into something greater, a rising, growth. right? Spiritual alchemy, soul growth. Inner voice is our intuition, our silent knowing. Suppression is very much linked to our shadow side, because our shadow side is created when we suppress, reject, deny, and disown aspects of ourselves, which is exactly what we have the opportunity to purge, clear, heal, integrate this week. A way that we can support our healing is through really paying attention to our inner knowing, which will result in positive transformation. So this is like, what is the energy? How do we work with the energy? What's the result of the energy? Now, they all came up reversed, which when I see the suppression card reversed, it's almost like I have this sense of, if something's filled to the max, it can't take on anymore. It's got to burst open, right? There's no more suppressing. We're beyond that now, I feel, right? Whoever's tuning in, watching this at any point, you're beyond the stage of unconsciously repressing things. You've achieved a level of awareness, and you realize that it's not healthy for you to suppress things, and that we need to advocate for ourselves in doing what we can do to cleanse, purge, clear, heal, integrate, advocate for ourselves. The inner voice card reversed, I feel, isn't so much about, if it was right side up, I would say taking action or making decisions based on your intuition. Reversed, it's sort of sitting with your intuitive knowings, feeling through them, allowing them to inwardly guide you on your inward journey of healing, because that's the nature of the energy that we're in this week, literally right now. And then even when the transformation card comes up reversed, the transformation is happening internally as opposed to some type of external situational manifestation of transformation. However, that is something that can happen as we have our own inner transformation. And again, that inner transformation can come through using the tools that I talked about earlier, the masteries of Sagittarius season, which we're exiting out of now, which I talked about earlier, the masteries of the Capricorn season, which I also talked about earlier. I'm going to pick one more card from this deck. This is a special deck that I have that I purchased in Egypt. It's a vintage, out of print Egyptian tarot deck. And so I don't use it a lot, and usually when I do use it, I just pick one card from it, because the images are simplistic, but the messages are intense. So let me just pick one card here and see what wants to come up for us as a collective message. I feel like it is this one. The discovery. So I'm going to talk about the messages on this card. It's connected to the number 59, which would be a 5 in numerology. And 5s in numerology are creative energy. It loosens up reality as we know it, which enables room for change, growth. And when you look closely at the image of this card, it's like there's this person here who's at the entrance of some type of, I don't know, you can say the entrance of a chamber, the entrance of a temple. It could also represent an entrance into a portal which is connected to that Sun conjunct the Galactic Center that I was talking about. We are all, in fact, experiencing our own personal discoveries this week, not only as we're consciously efforting in the direction of purging, cleansing, clearing, healing, but exploring, discovering the parts of ourselves that we want to energize, activate, and empower, embody, in moving forward. So in the spirit of the energy this week, let's be in the spirit of discovery, curiosity, right? Now, in regard to the healing component of where we're at energetically in the wheel of the year this week, this weekend, I do have a playlist on my channel that offers all kinds of different healing art modalities. I think it's called Personal Growth Empowerment Practices. I'll link it either in the comments below or in the description when I'm done with the live here, because there's a lot of helpful tools and resources that we can all utilize over the course of the next week to support our healing journey. If any of you out there feel like you'd like some support in your healing journey and you'd like a personal session with me, feel free to reach out. My website is holisticspsychic.com. And if you go to the session offerings page, you'll see that I offer a lot more than psychic readings. Even though I work with astrology a lot to inform the energy, my main thing is as a psychic reader. And then I offer all kinds of shamanic healing modalities as well, as you'll see on my website, holisticspsychic.com. Check it out. And if you've been thinking about having a session with me for a while now, this time of year, as we're coming to the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, would be a really great time to have a session, because we are moving into fresh energies, a new cycle of experience, a new year, right? So anyway, I hope that the information that came through today was helpful and supportive for all of you. I'm going to be chiming in on the Winter Solstice Day on December 21st, so I hope that I see you all then. We're going to talk about the energies of the solstice, the energies of Capricorn season, and what's in store for us for the month ahead on that level. We're also going to talk about the new moon, and we have a Mercury retrograde coming up on December 29th. So I'm going to talk about that next week as well. So stay tuned. I'm going to schedule. I'm going to pre-schedule the live for the Winter Solstice to be on a specific time. I'm not sure of the time yet, but I will program that so that you'll see it on my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to select the notification so that you're reminded of that, so that you're sure not to miss out on that. So anyway, love you guys, blessings. Thank you for chiming in, and I'm gonna chime out for now, but I will see you next week on the solstice. All my love.